there, my name is Chris and welcome to my channel where tonight I will be talking about 90 Day Fiance, Before the 90 Days, Season 3, Episode 8. This episode was called True Colors.
I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you, so don't be afraid.
Okay, let's get into it. So the first couple we'll talk about is Avery and Omar. This was a special episode for Avery and Omar. This is how it starts. Avery's putting on makeup, adoy. She loves doing it, and I love watching her doing it. I love her cheekbones. I love those lips. I want to know what lip gloss she uses. Like, I'm always just like, look at them juicy ass, pillowy ass lips. I could like bounce on them like a bounce house. Honey, I'm at Chuck E. Cheese. They have bounce houses at Chuck E. Cheese? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. She's talking about how Omar is her best friend and her soulmate, and her mom is still skeptical. Terry's like, look, I want things to work out with you, but you are my priority. And Avery's like, and he's my priority. He's my husband. And Terry's like, you're 19. Fuck, God damn it. You're so dumb. You're so young. You're young and dumb and full of mum. Hum. She hums a lot. Humming. She's a hummer. She's young, dumb, and full of some ignorance and immaturity. So then we have a Habibi. That's Omar. And Omar comes in with, guess what? Another hurdle. Like a sitcom. You guys, it just keeps coming. Now it's revealed that he didn't get some sort of sign off in Islamic court. I don't know if that's just like usually what happens, if that's like the marriage license situation, if that's like a special thing because she's American. Should he have got it before? Could he have gotten it before? You know, we don't know. We're finding this all out. But then it's like, you have to run over there and get that and then run back to the mosque and get married. I remember from that mosque meeting, the Shah was going to marry them like in the morning, and suddenly it's like they're racing over to the court by the time it closes by like 3 or 4, and I'm like, this is weird. And the whole thing truthfully reeked of like a producer setup of like some drama. They just can't get married, you know, and just like have Terry yell at them. And get the paperwork done, honey. They turn in that homework and they got, you know, a C, but whatever, God bless. So they go over to the mosque and they're going to get married. So then they have a conversation where they're like, the Shah is going to become your power of attorney because you don't speak Arabic. Yeah, okay. And then what happens is that he takes the physical place of the bride during the ceremony with Omar. So they hold hands, Omar and this guy, Shah, who's also doing the ceremony. And they do the ceremony with Avery just watching and Terry witnessing, but not officially because she's only one lady. You can only be an officiant if you are 2 ladies or 1 dude. And that doesn't go over well with Terry. She's not happy about that one. She's not happy the fact that Avery just gets to watch her husband marry this guy. And after all of the dress shopping, she has to wear this cloak. Looks like a cloak that you would accomplish quests in and return to some being on the mountain, take off the cloak and like present whatever ring you were supposed to acquire. Right? Okay. In the live, someone said that cloak was a temporary cloak. They had to have a prayer veil and they probably didn't have that, and that's why the cloak happened. I don't know why they just didn't get that prayer veil at that shop when they were buying everything else. Seems like there should be a checklist at some point being like prayer veil, extra veil, gloves, you know, go down the line, Skims. I wonder how many Islamic ladies wear Skims and or like shapewear and or like Spanx underneath their gowns. Obviously they don't have to, or maybe they do, I don't know. Do they sometimes still? One of my favorite parts of the Avery Omar storyline is when Avery's mom Terry asks Omar the court's business hours. Well, do you know the business hours of the court? If he knew anything about this court, he would have gotten them papers already. I don't think that Omar is checking Yelp to see what time the court's hours are. He definitely didn't hit more information. He also mentions his family, or their lack thereof, their absence, which I was thankful for. So how did he get there and they didn't? I don't really know a lot about traveling between those 2 countries, which is weird, because I am of those 2 countries. But that's how privileged I am, and 3rd generation-y that I live in America. I don't know how anything happens over there in Syria, Lebanon, even though la 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 la, you know. So after they get married, they go to dinner. Terry then gets to find out that Avery is going to go live with Omar and be with him, and Terry has a fit. Now, Terry should have realized that. And I kind of don't feel like there's a chance in hell that she didn't. But if we're going along with this narrative, Terry finds out that Avery's going to go maybe move to Syria or whatever, and she like loses her shit. She's like, "You're so dumb. Why don't you know that's a dumb idea?" And instead of like Avery appealing to her in any sort of way, like, "That is my husband and everything's going to be fine. He has his family there," and like trying to appease her mom, Avery is just like, "Sorry, mom, I'm gonna die. I don't care. You're dumb for caring. You're dumb. I hate you.
That's your problem and not mine. For caring about me, I don't care about that. You do, that's you.
Terry just storms out. Okay, next couple, Angela and Michael. So Angela calls Michael and she's like, "Michael, I am not ready to forgive you. But can you be by the restaurant, by the hotel at 7 p.m.? You know the one. The one I have my eye on. That one." Then she gets to the restaurant with Michael and she apologizes about the cake. Now, I'm glad she apologizes because that was really, really disrespectful to do to anyone, much less like someone that you love. And she says it. She's like, "That's not how you treat someone you love. I'm sorry about the cake." And then Michael's like, "Oh, I deserved it." They end up making up, but she's like, "One more time, Michael. I'll leave. And you will never get to America. One more time, Michael. Let's go have fun." You know, she was just like, it's real black and white with her. Because they're in a car happy again, not nearly the next scene, as if nothing ever happened. It's a switch, and she switches it. They are on the way to go see Michael's mom. Of course, Angela pulls up to Michael's mom. Michael's mom loves Angela. They're like, "Hi, mama, hi." You know, she like comes up. It's like a hug, hug, hug. This shit is real. Those two women know each other, have talked on the phone many a time. You just can't make this stuff up sometimes. It's just like, when it's real, it's real. And it feels so good when it's real. Of course, Michael's mom's like, "How are you?" Angela's like, "Well, your son has been fucking up left and right." Michael's mom is like to Michael, like, "What'd you do?" Michael's mom then assures Angela that he, in fact, really loves Angela. And everything's going well until, for some reason, kids are brought up. Now, the kid conversation is the theme of this episode. This episode's called True Colors, again, but it should be called Kids? Kids. In Nigerian culture, we are led to believe that every person should have a child. So even though Michael's mom has Michael and Michael's siblings, and countless probably grandchildren at this point, Michael's mom is like, Michael has to have a kid. And Angela's like, "Oh, well, you know, we have option A or option B." And Michael's mom's like, "Or option C," which is the option we do here, which is that if you're barren or something, he just gets to go. Now, here's the thing. Angela's a very jealous woman. We know that. We've seen it. We understand that. Michael's mom doesn't understand that. Or she thinks like, "But why would you deny my son this thing?" And what she doesn't understand is that because Angela's not going to let Michael go be with some young woman to make a kid. Cut to, the best confessional I've had of Angela so far, where she's like, "Who's taking care of it? Not me. I didn't have fun making it. I'm not taking care of that kid. No. Hell no, I'm not taking care of that kid. I didn't make it. Have a kid. Who's going to pay for it? Not me, double hell no." So in Angela's mind, she's just hoping someone else would tote it. I love this show. Thank you for being here with me in this show. Okay, next couple is Benjamin and Aki-Nee. So honey, he wakes up in the morning and he has to do his hygienic routine, which is using a bottled water to like brush his teeth and wash his face. We find out that he's on his way to church, and it's the church that Aki-Nee's dad is the pastor of, which is the way that he gets to meet this man who wouldn't come to his own home. Aki-Nee's dad is up and about and sprite and loud. Aki-Nee's dad and Aki-Nee's mom don't look like a pair, is how I would describe that. Aki-Nee's mom has sat through many a church sermon that this man has screamed. She's been over it. I said this in the live, and it's kind of like an African Baptist Pentecostal-esque church that's kind of like screamy, and it's very like fiery. and intense. So, and, interesting. In my mind, I'm like, at least this is a Christian church, like in the sense of like Benjamin can at least understand what's happening. Benjamin is so lucky in this situation that he is uber Christian. Because if they were like hardcore a different religion and Benjamin wasn't, and white, and no gifts, and kind of bland, I think it'd be too many strikes against him. After the mass, Benjamin is invited to sit with the elders, and make his case for Aki-Nee. And they ask him questions about being married and, why he's there. And he answers appropriately and with enough Christian dialogue, because he isn't Christian, that really, I think, seals the deal. He's smart. They bring up the bride price. Well, they kind of do. They don't say a specific number. They're just like, just expect jewels, rings and jewels, and just like you have to like come bearing gifts. And not just frankincense and myrrh, diamonds. Are Kenya's best friend. Benjamin also fully addresses the fact that Aki-Nee just keeps ambushing him with more and more things he has to do, like to get to her. It's like levels of a game he has to keep ascending to, and he doesn't know what's gonna come next. Maybe because she's 19. Why she's being so confusing, but it's because she's 19, I guess. Next week, Aki-Nee gets drunk, and it's not a good look, I guess, for Benjamin. I want to be like, she's 19, Benjamin. Okay? 19, 1-9. So, know who you are being with. This is not someone who's like super mature around alcohol or super mature, like when she comes to America and will be able to understand how everything works and like make rational, logical decisions at every point. She's young. Also, where's her friend Colleen? There has now been too many episodes with not enough Colleen. Where's Colleen? You know Colleen. Colleen from the market. Colleen that was like, she loves white people. I need that person back. I need that person in church. I need that person hanging out with Aki-Nee and Benjamin. Is that the person that Aki-Nee gets drunk with? Like, we need all these answers. Pink lemonade. Okay, up next is Darcy and Tom. And Stacy and Florrum. So Tom has a conversation with Darcy where he's like, okay, you and Stacy are nightmares. Really bad nightmares. Okay, you need to know. Horrible. It's not a competition. All the tit for tat's crazy. It's making me very uncomfortable. I don't understand how you guys aren't aware of that or how it doesn't make a difference to you guys. And Darcy gets it. And then she goes and has a conversation / breakfast with Stacy where she relays this information, and Stacy is having none of it because a little bit of the blame would be on Stacy of like their dynamic, and Stacy's like, oh no, it's all on you. No, first of all, he's gross and he's not for you, but also it's your vibe. You're desperate. It's crazy. That's on you. I don't think this is going to work out. You're nuts. So sorry. This is not a best. This is another mess you got yourself into. I'm Stacy. I'm the better twin. Stacy is just not helping Darcy in any way, not being a kind sister. Darcy has her own problems. Darcy has all the problems. There's kind of like just toxic environments that she jumps from one to one, like a little monkey in the Amazon forest, not letting go of a branch of another toxic relationship until she has another toxic relationship firmly in her grasp. So after Stacy's like, this is all on you, you have a bad vibe, you have a pattern, you just keep doing this bullshit, Darcy just like swallows it and is like, well, your relationship isn't perfect either. In fact, let's talk and fucking about it. Why the hell have you gotten engaged yet? And Stacey's like, I want to take my time. We're taking our time. What are you talking about? And Darcy's like, okay, if you're taking your time, why'd you get engaged the first time you went out there? And, Stacey doesn't really have a good answer. It's all a mystery. Listen, this isn't about you or your life, and I'm not saying that you should just suddenly get married and engaged, but it is like Stacey's on this high horse of like, we got engaged super early because we were in love. But no, we haven't got married yet, and that's fine. It's suspect. That's suspect. That part's suspect. And so to judge Darcy all the time as if she's in some, long-term, committed, works like a machine relationship, it's not what's happening. They barely see each other. It's been 3 years. And Florrum, okay, I do think that he's good looking in the kind of way that I think that Anwar Hadid is good looking. In a way that's like model-esque and also maybe like heroin chic, and also like they don't sleep, they don't look like they're sleeping people. I find him attractive. I wouldn't be with him. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. But I'm happy they had that conversation because I wanted those answers from Stacy, just like I wanted the answers from Omar about where his family was in relationship to his wedding. So then they all pile in a car to this like flea market thing, and on the way Tom gets sick, you know, has to throw up. And Darcy's just trying to help him, but you know, it's a little too much in his space. And then he like says like, you know, Darcy, can you give me some space? And then Stacy jumps on it like, yeah, Darce, ugh, get off of him. And it's like, why do you have to say that? You know, this is your insecure sis. You know her. Darcy's like, yeah, I heard him. Yeah, because you didn't have to say that. Ugh. The flea market thing is boring for the dudes. They just like, get us out of here. But at the same time, I'm like, I want to see all the jewelry. All the scars. Let's look inside. Is there wallets? I'm just saying if there's rings, can I see them? Tom is in his Louis Vuitton scarf, and he's about to get real smarmy. So he has a conversation with Darcy where he's like, wow, this is different than I thought it was going to be. Not the trip I planned, obviously. We all know what I planned. That was Gran Canaria. But what I didn't tell you, that's where my parents got engaged, and I was seriously considering proposing to you there. But now that I see who you are with your sister and how shitty this place is, Albania, that you made me come to, ooh, boy, did I dodge a bullet. And Darcy's like, you're gonna propose first trip? But you didn't. 'Cause Stacy made me come here. Were you not like, is she gonna kill herself? Is she gonna kill Stacy? She's gonna go on a murder rampage and kill them both now. She's gonna kill them both. She's gonna murder suicide both of them now. I'm like, Jesus, why'd you tell this woman that? By the way, why'd you tell this woman that? It's not true. You were never thinking about that. You were never going to. You're a manipulating psycho. You're a piece of goddamn work. I'll tell you that right now, Tom Brooks. I lost my mind. Okay, up next is Rebecca and Zayed. Rebecca wants to know what's in Zayed's past, which is ironic because in Rebecca's past is a whole bunch of goddamn bullshit. And that's always how it is. It's always the cheaters and the people that have stuff in their past that don't trust the other person. Rebecca wants to know what's happening in Zayed's past, but it's like he's 25. So what, when he was 23? That's 3 years ago. That's 2 years ago. Okay, what, when he was 17? That's 7 years ago. I can't do math. That's 8 years ago. But you know what I'm saying? At 17, he was playing a video game and like playing with his D. It's still what he does. Instead of a video game, it's a hookah stick. And then in another BS situation, we're supposed to believe that now she's going to get the results of the background check that her and her PI counterpart and their detective duo agency finally has. Which, from what we hear, the results are just basically an internet background check that can be done in 15 seconds for like $3.99. Yep, that's the age he is. And no criminal history and no job info. So this is what Rebecca starts to get upset about, is that he has no job info. And if you remember correctly, Rebecca seems to believe that he's an audience coordinator for all of the like Tunisian talk shows. She tells that to her friend, and her friend's like, that's not listed here. And Rebecca's like, I believe he's a hard worker. And it's like, from what do you believe that? From his soccer skills on the field? From how hard he sucks a shisha? Yeah, honey, he is not a hard worker. He's a hard smoker. Okay, so then they're gonna go on a date to get some soup, and the soup is called lablabi. It is, I looked it up, it's a Tunisian dish, I'm reading. It's a Tunisian dish based on chickpeas and a thin garlic and cumin flavored soup served over small pieces of stale crusty bread. Raw or soft cooked egg is nearly always added to the hot soup mix. She confronts Zayed with like, why don't you have work history? He's like, because I don't work. 25, I lived with my parents. You saw my life, but okay. No, but then he's like, look, basically I work for a boss and he would have it on his history, but he hires people under the table and then just pays them, is what it feels like his explanation is. Maybe he's just literally the guy like being like, stand here. Up next, we have Caesar. Guess what? Caesar has no Maria, but he still has that one diamond earring. So he isn't lost, but fucking he texts Maria to work things out. I need you to leave my screen. I don't want to waste any more time with you. In fact, if they're going to waste another episode on them, I won't talk about him. This is the end I'm talking about Caesar. Unless we see Maria or something, I refuse. Because this is what I'm going to talk about. So he doesn't have Maria. He calls her. She doesn't call back. And then he has to go to some non-refundable dinner that the hotel set him up that looks like a kind of bullshit date that'd be in The Bachelorette, where they like have one table out in the middle of wherever with like flowers and candles on it. It's so dumb. And the waitress comes over and she's like, should we wait for your fiance? And he's like, she's not coming. Why not just ask her to sit down then? Take a load off. She's been working. You have an extra plate. She can just sit down. You need a woman, someone. And then he just like has a dinner and then awkwardly like decides it's enough, that he's been made too much of a fool, and just gets up and runs out. Before he runs out, though, the final straw that broke the camel's back is, I guess, when he sees like two friends of his that he's made throughout his resort stay in the pool. These two peeps in green shirts that are not even matching green shirts, but weirdly matching colors. But like, why would you have those? But okay. One girl with a beer koozie around her beer that she like obviously and like brought into the pool area of the resort. Like, or maybe that's the way the producers got two random drunk people to like talk on camera. They're like, just come over here, we'll give you a beer with a free koozie. And she was like, okay. Hey Caesar, where's Maria? Now we're supposed to believe that like he's gonna go to the Ukraine. And that's why I'm like, you don't even know where she lives, you're dumb. I'm not gonna be on this journey with you. I clock out, I tap out. I cannot waste my time. I cannot. I have a lot going on. Okay, final cups. Timothy and Jennifer. So they're on the way to meet her dad, just like Angela and Michael were on the way to meet his mom. But here's the thing, Angela obviously had already known Michael's mom, and Timothy does not know Jennifer's dad. Jennifer's dad's hot, real hot. Hot. The opposite of how I feel about Tim. So in a not stage situation, Jennifer and her dad are gonna put Tim to work on the ranch. Watch him get some dirt underneath them jail nails. Listen, they'll give him an orange wood stick. He later can like clean it out, don't worry. But he has to wash the animals and give them vitamin B shots. And, which by the way, like I love a vitamin B shot. Can you give me one too? Cool. And at one point they ask him if he wants to like castrate a bull. And he's like, no, I'm cool. And they're like, yeah, because you're a pussy. Because you don't have balls. Only people with balls can cut off balls. And then Jennifer seeks her dad's advice. She's like, what do you think of this one? And you think the dad's just gonna be like, no. But he's kind of like, we'll see. You'll make your decision. I don't want you to be hurt again. Yeah, this whole thing also felt kind of Bachelor-esque, like meeting the parents. It was a very Bachelor feeling episode. Then he calls his friend Chris and he's like, brother man. And this friend Chris calls him boss man. And I'm like, oh yeah, because that's who he is. He called an employee to pretend he had a friend. And this employee knows he has to pick up for his boss. Then they go out, you know, Jennifer and Timothy, and she like has a yummy fig thing. What is it? It's a fruit. No, I know it's a fruit. You're dumb. You know, like everything is just awkward. But I do love me some Jennifer. She's just like always posing. She's just always like lips out. I appreciate that. Then he says that he's been loving her a lot lately. Lately, like, what does that mean? The past hour? Since I've been here? Since you've been here? Have I told you lately that I've been loving you? What have you loved from me lately? He is just like licking all of his fingers after this fig thing. He's not licking her though. And then he sits next to her and starts to paw at her hair in such a way that I'm like, oh my God. And then they kiss. The pawing at the hair is like, happens. It isn't like, or it's just like, oh God, it'd just be like, Get off me. But they kiss. And the worst music plays. And the kiss looks very ho-hum. But they both insist that it's great. She does too, and I'm like, really? Come on, girl. You've been very honest. You think my kiss is great? She's like, well, it's soft. It's romantic and soft, so. Yeah, no shit. I mean, listen, maybe he knows how to throw down behind closed doors. Maybe. We'll see. Because that's what she wants. She wants a man to dominado. She needs a man to take her, to show her that he knows what's up, how to get it on, that she's safe and protected in his hands and his arms, honey, that he can take care of her in more ways than one, in more ways than two, in more ways than 10. A man that can take care of you in more ways than 10 is my new thing I'm looking for. Maybe I'll come up with this new song. What do you guys think? Do you like my single? You guys, I did it. That's all the peeps. Can you believe it? And by the way, did you notice that for the first time this week, I did a live talking about the other 90-day franchise happening right now, which is The Other Way. And that was really fun. So if you've been watching that show and you've been longing to hear me talk about Jenny and Laura and all those dumbass peeps, look at that live. And make sure to like or comment. Tell me what videos you enjoy or don't enjoy. You can totally dislike something too. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a thumbs up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. I really appreciate you guys and I love you so much. And you know, happy fall. Goodbye summer. Goodbye hot girl summer. Hello hot girl fall. Fine girl fall. If you want to follow me on social media more than YouTube, I am at Chris L. Farah on Twitter and Instagram. The L is for licking his fingers, honey. That's Tim licking them fingers. Boop, 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 boop. And as always, make sure that you are subscribed for all the latest updates and hit the notification bell because sometimes I just go live, honey, and like no one gets notifications. It's so sad. I always post though before I go live in my Facebook group, Vanity Farah. So search that on Facebook and get in on the secret VIP group. Yes. Take care of yourselves and each other. Stand up for what you believe and make art. Thank you guys so much. Bye.